What's up, family? My name is Darik Alexander. I'm 21 years old, and I'm from Seattle, Washington. I'm here to just kind of give you a little bit of information if you're new or trying to understand the Vemma organization opportunity, to give you a basic form of information, to give you a better rounded opinion, to see what this could do for you. Now, before I begin, if I were to explain to you quantum physics, for example, I could give you graphs, diagrams, write out figures, whatever it may be, but the only way you're going to know if what I'm telling you is really real is if you trust me. I could spend hours and hours talking about it, but if you don't trust me, there's no validity in it. I can tell you that before I joined Vemma 14 months ago, I owed the government $60,000 in student loans. Both of my parents worked full-time. I grew up pretty much like any other kid, going through the same stuff, going to school, getting my education, and really didn't have a vehicle to find success. Now, one thing I want you to think about is when you were first approached about Facebook, let's say it was one of your best friends who rushed up to you in the hall and said, hey, you got to check out Facebook. It's a new thing that people are doing, and it's big and it's real, and I think you should be exposed to it. 9 times out of 10, you'd go home after school online and check out what Facebook is. Now let's backtrack and say, hypothetically, someone approached you about Facebook whose maybe opinion you do not respect. You don't think it's someone that's valuable, who really you give the time of day. They tell you to get a Facebook. You may not go online and check after school. Yet, Facebook remained a constant. The only difference is the person that gave you that message and delivered the information to you. I say that because 14 months ago, when I heard about Vemma, I heard it through a lot of people through word of mouth. I wasn't actually understanding facts. I was getting regurgitated information, recycled from mouth to mouth with no validity, kind of spreading like a form of gossip. This is to be a form of validity for you to see actual facts and be able to make your decision based on statistics so you can actually apply to yourself and see if it's relevant for your lifestyle and whatever you're doing with your career. So when I originally heard about Vemma and the organization, the opportunity it could give me, I actually was like most people. I was skeptical. I didn't understand it. I didn't wrap my mind around it, and I really just wasn't ready to learn. I had basically a low teachability index, which was my ability to accept change and my willingness to learn in general. It's not that I had a big ego and a small bank account, but I never was educated in how to build money. You see, since I was young, I didn't grow up in an environment where I was being taught how to build income. I basically thought if I just worked a job, got a resume, basically finished school, graduated, with a flick of a wand with the job market, I would find the right job, the right internship, which would eventually, through hard work and dedication, get me to the 7-figure income I dreamed of. However, after doing a little bit of research on my own to figure out a little bit more about the industry itself, this is what I learned. Vemma is a network marketing company. If you're not familiar with network marketing, I understand. I wasn't either. I had no idea what the industry even was. Unbeknownst to me, it's the second highest paid industry in the country. The NFL generates about $8.3 billion a year. NBA, about $5.3. The industry of network marketing generates $33 billion annually. So if this industry is so massive, why haven't young people heard about it? Well, I'll explain why. When I got on board, I got a lot of feedback from my parents about doing Vemma. My mom said something like, I tried that when I was your age and it didn't work for me. However, what I realized was my mom was my age a long time ago. She didn't have iPhones, iPads, any of that social connectivity that we had now, like Skype, Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Then my dad said, they're trying to make money off of you. My response, I hope so. I don't really know how to make money off myself yet. What I realized was, yes, a lot of people do fail in network marketing. However, a lot of people fail in golf. A lot of people fail in basketball. A lot of people fail tests. This is the first organization in the history of mankind that's done social network marketing with a young demographic of people our age. Now, why does that interest you? Well, if your plan A for financial freedom is getting your college education, I'm all for a degree, but there are some facts you may want to know. Now, obviously, most students our age are going through school to get their degree, which is what they're paying for. Now, in the process, they're building their education, which is what the degree helped give them. However, a lot of college students don't know what education actually stands for. The root word comes from educo, which is the Latin word to evoke from within and invoke from oneself. So taking your own inner genius and bringing it out to the exterior world. So for students that cannot afford a degree through their parents, the average student loan debt for a bachelor's degree is about $25,000 in a privately owned school, about $6,500 a year in a publicly owned school. For a master's degree in a privately owned school, it's roughly $45,000. Publicly owned, it is about $15,000. And for a 5-year PhD, it can stem anywhere from $100,000 to some Ivy League schools at $300,000 a year. Now, when I looked at those numbers, what I also saw was the economy facts as well. Now, Obama says the average age for someone to retire is at 72. We right now are over $1 trillion in student loan debt. With that, also, 55% of the graduating class graduate unemployed or underemployed, making roughly $40,000 in annual income. And 82% of the graduating class move back in with their mother or their father. So looking at that, I then did further research. And what I realized was the NEA is the National Education Association. You know, anywhere from your middle school, your elementary school, your high school, college is all under the NEA. It's founded by John D. Rockefeller. You can Google his quote, "I don't want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of workers." So what I realized was after the past 20 years of getting my education, I really wasn't learning how to make money. I was learning to work for someone else. Yet, with all the money I was spending on my degree, the opportunity cost didn't make a lot of sense when 50% of us were unemployed or underemployed anyway. Now I in every way support education. I'm all for getting a degree, but I also think it's important to be realistic in terms of your vehicle towards success. Now, a lot of people wonder, what does that mean? Well, if I were to ask you what your tangible plan was to build a 7-figure income, if your answer was just investing in my education, I would humbly have to tell you that with the job market, that's like the equivalent of going off on an airplane, being 50,000 feet in the air, and the pilot telling you, we don't know when we're going to land, we don't know where we're going to land, but we'll figure it out soon. My point is, you need to have some type of vehicle to know where you're going to go. So now parents are lending money they don't have to their children who don't have the financial assets to pay it back for jobs they're getting trained for that no longer exist in our economy. Now, all these facts may seem a little bit intimidating, especially young people whose plan A is to get a degree, and keep it as your plan A. However, Harvard Business School recently came out saying that network marketing is one of the best opportunities for young people to build compounded passive residual income. This is how the 3% of our population generate the 97% of the money within our country. If you're not sure, 3%, like Donald Trump, Warren Buffett, JP Morgan, build the income because it's residual income. Instead of working a wage where they trade their time for money or commissions, which can be exhausting, they rather let their money work for them. And what Harvard Business School said was there's 3 major criterias that you can find to filter out what is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for young people in this demographic at our age. Number 1, the company should be at least 18 months in age. Most network marketing companies, about 90-95%, fail within their first 18 months. So if you look at Amway, ACN, Herbalife, David Beckham makes more money from Herbalife than he does playing soccer. Amway is owned by the Orlando Magic. Mary Kay, they're generating billions of dollars in revenue a month. Vemma, for example, has been around for about 8 years. The energy drink Verve has been around for 3 years. Number 2, the product must be unique and highly consumable. Because human beings are 90% water, when we have a gummy vitamin or a Flintstone tablet or any rock or pill form vitamin, we're getting about 10% of the vitamin absorbed into our bloodstream. When you have a liquid antioxidant, you get about 95% of the vitamins absorbed into your bloodstream. Why is that interesting? Vemma, which is vitamins, essential minerals, mangosteen, and aloe, is a liquid vitamin formula that consists of 2 oranges, 9 avocados, and 3 stalks of broccoli, 55 eggs, a cup of spinach, 3 cups of peas, 19 medium bananas, 62 ounces cheddar cheese, 5 large potatoes, 61 cups tomatoes, 2 watermelons, 17 cherries, and 37 medium-sized mushrooms. Now, obviously, the normal college student isn't going to buy $75 worth of produce because that's like pretty much your entire weekend paycheck. And also, when you look at a Big Mac costing $5 and going to Whole Foods costing that whole paycheck, it's tough to put that in your system. But if you are interested in a very fast metabolic rate, a high focus level for studying, and an excellent pre-workout, the vitamin formula Vemma, which is in all Verve products, any of the chocolate ice cream or vanilla ice cream protein shakes sponsored by Chris and Heidi Powell, and Body, which is 20 grams of protein in a small can, which also speeds up your metabolic rate, it gives you that vitamins, essential minerals, mangosteen, aloe vera to help your antioxidants, raise insulin levels, and eliminate free radical cells that cause type 2 diabetes and cancer. And number 3, it needs to be a ground floor opportunity. Harvard Business School suggests that in order for the opportunity to qualify as ground floor, the number of existing active distributors should be less than half of 1% of the population, about 300 million in the United States. In the country where this network marketing company exists, in the US, for example, that figure is equal to about 1.5 million people. In Vemma, there's roughly around 200,000 active distributors for this business. Harvard Business School also stated that if there were less than 500,000 people involved, you'd be on the cutting edge of a great opportunity for our age demographic. Now, why should this interest young people, especially if we're already going to school? Well, With Vemma, all you spend minimum would be about $150 worth of 2 cases of product every 5 weeks. With that, you get a free website, which is basically like a mix between Amazon and Facebook. You add a profile picture to it, and it's essentially your Vemma profile. You also get an app you can download on your smartphone. When you now have this, all you do is buy your product every 5 weeks. If at any point you cancel, you cancel. Your account goes from active to inactive. You rebuy product, it's active again. So all you're really buying is product. Now, if you went into a 7-Eleven and saw a can of Verve next to a Red Bull, you'd buy the Red Bull. But unbeknownst to many, Red Bull is sugar water with a little bit of liquid taurine. When you chase Red Bull or any energy drink with alcohol, it can speed up your heart rate and kill you, which is why it's banned in most areas in Europe and is beginning to become banned in Canada. Yet, when Blake Griffin does an alley-oop dunk or Shaun White does a McTwist with a Red Bull sticker, we buy it because they're investing $900 million a year in advertising retail. But here's the funny part. 80% of the people that drink Red Bull, Rockstar, Monster, Gatorade, Powerade, 5-Hour Energy, Vitamin Water, and Starbucks is young people between the ages of 16 years old to 30. So what happens with Vemma is all the money they would spend on advertising retail, they don't send to Madison Avenue, or they don't spend on Wall Street, they keep. And by you buying product, you're given a right social network and a left social network. You find one friend, friend number 1 on your right, friend number 2 on your left. Now your ratio is 1 in 1 like a fraction. But here's the catch. Whoever friend number 1 gets and so on and so forth, and friend number 2 gets and so on and so forth, is just as important to you as the first 2 you enrolled. So if friend number 1 builds a network like mutual friends on Facebook to 1,000 people, and friend number 2 on your left builds a network of 2,000 people, you, by being a consumer for Vemma, created a social network of 3,000 distributors. Since they don't spend any money having the drink in stores and commercials, they pay you residual income. And at that number, it'd be annually $250,000 each year. I was able to develop that in a 10-month span. Now, results may vary. Understand that. I'm not saying what I did is typical, but by no means is this not equal opportunity. Everyone can buy the same amount of product that I buy right now. You'll be given the same type of compensation plan I have to build income that you have to build income. And you can all out-earn me. So the difference between people is based on you. But you don't know until you try. Now, if many of your friends failed or said, oh, I tried this and it didn't work for me and I quit, my advice would be, why would you take financial advice from someone that failed? See, a lot of people take financial advice from people that are successful, so their results are congruent with that success. But what I would tell you is, in the past 14 months I've been involved in Vemma, it has drastically changed my life for the better. I've been connected with people all around the world that I used to look up to, like Eric Thomas, Bob Proctor, and keynote speakers like Robert Kiyosaki. I've been blessed to speak in front of tons of thousands of people, Ustreamed, traveling the world. And what I've learned more importantly is that young people our age really don't want money. We want the time freedom that money gives us. However, what society has shown us is in order to create that type of time freedom, we have to work for 40 years, retire on 40% of our income, and do that same ball and chain over and over again. I personally do not want my kids to graduate from school, work a 40-hour-a-week job just so they can retire me. I personally want my kids to do whatever they would want to do if money didn't matter. By doing that, they'll become passionate what they're doing because the money doesn't matter. So they'll never go through problems. It'll be little molehills we jump over, and it'll get easier and easier and easier building that culture. The reason this video is out is for you to know that young people now are the most socially connected generation of all time. Network marketing has never found a product and an organized system marketed just like Facebook to take what we have in our skill set, which is our ability to massively influence people. We made Facebook big, In-N-Out, Chipotle, all word-of-mouth advertising, just like Vemma. So, with our skill set we already possess, if you run a 4-3, you probably shouldn't play chess. Well, if you have an iPhone, an iPad, an Instagram, or a Facebook, you don't need to be bagging groceries at Safeway. You're God's highest gift to creation. You playing small in the world serves no one, especially yourself and your family. It is possible to build a residual income starting your own business. And instead of having to invest in something that's exhausting, you can spend money on a product you consume anyway that 80% of young people already consume. Now, all these facts in the next 36 months are adding up for young people, making a massive consciousness shift in the way they spend their money. It's not theory anymore, and it's already happening. But what's happening now is a group of young people that are taking the money they spend and are using it for a bigger difference, whether it's to retire your mom, not have to pay student loans, no financial aid. So what I would tell you is, yes, results are not typical. You may try this and you may fail. But I'll tell you what, Mark Zuckerberg has an excellent quote about taking a risk. The biggest risk is not taking any risk. In a world that is changing really quickly, the only strategy that is guaranteed to fail is to not take any risks. Out of all the people that I've enrolled, not everyone has made money, obviously, but it's also everyone's own business when they're buying product in the first place. So as someone you're enrolling, it's kind of the idea that this is what we're going to do, but you're going to need to step up as a leader at some point as well. Each person that has never built income routinely or residually and stopped, the only reason is because they just stopped ordering product. If they would have continued ordering product and then at some point, hopefully, as they drive, find the right networks to build, they're always active to make money. But you'll never be able to make money if you stop buying the product. So in every way, yes, some people don't make money, but it's because it's their decision to stop buying the product, which qualifies them to make money. Now, I don't know about you. Personally, I'd rather work really hard for 2 to 5 years of my life to live happy for the next 70 years of my life. If every opportunity is too good to be true, you cannot find a true opportunity. Young people are starting to realize this quickly, and because of that, with or without you, this is happening. The ultimate difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is their ability to look at an opportunity and think if it's too good to be true. Successful people see tons of opportunities, think there's no way it's not too good to be true, attempt it, and through effort find success with an open mind. Unsuccessful people take the same opportunity that falls on the same lap and instead go, it's too good to be true. She could do it, he could do it, but not me. Someday I'll find my path. Young people are realizing that someday is not a day of the week. So with or without you, this is happening.